What's going on, everybody? RJ Ochoa here from SB Nation's bloggingtheboys.com. Hope all is well wherever you are. We hope you're happy, safe, healthy, and that you're taking care of your Christmas shopping. I know it could be a stressful time of year, and so hopefully you're making your list, checking it twice, and you're having some hot chocolate, some cookies, everything as a part of the entire process. Who doesn't love the lights? This is the most wonderful time of the year. I know that's technically the saying, but it really is true. Anyway, it's also wonderful because the Dallas Cowboys are one of the very best teams in the NFL. They're 10-3, and this week, just like last, they can clinch a playoff spot. Now, a playoff spot isn't everything, right? The Cowboys are a good enough team that we can have dreams and wants and wishes and ambitions of them doing more than just having a playoff spot. We can want a particular path to the playoffs, but today we're here to talk about how Dallas can get a ticket to the dance in Week 15. Now, last week, as mentioned, the Cowboys had a number of scenarios, and they all involved the Cowboys winning, which they did. Remember, the Cowboys embarrassed the Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday Night Football. This week, the Cowboys can technically get in, even if they do not win in Orchard Park against the Buffalo Bills, but hopefully they do anyway. And in fact, all the Cowboys have to do is win this week. If the Cowboys win, and really not even that, if the Cowboys tie, if they draw, if they tie against the Buffalo Bills, they are in the playoffs. Let's take a look at all of the playoff clinching scenarios for the Cowboys here in Week 15. As you can see, there are a number of them, and they start, of course, with the Cowboys winning or tying, and then it gets really complicated. You can look, and we have an article up on this. I'll put the link to it down in the description as well over at bloggingtheboys.com, where we kind of flesh this out a little bit, but you'll see exactly what you're looking at right here. If the Bucs lose and the Lions win or tie, and the 49ers win or tie, the Cowboys are in. That's how you read this. The third option, if the Buccaneers lose and the Lions win or tie, and the Rams lose or tie, then the Cowboys are in. So on and so forth. Obviously, a lot of these involve the Buccaneers losing, the Vikings losing. You can involve ties if you want, but ties are so rare in the NFL that it feels really, silly to kind of count on them. In fact, the one scenario we had a couple of years ago where a tie would have been super cool, the Chargers messed it up and couldn't even get it done right. But these are all the scenarios in which the Cowboys can earn a playoff ticket this week in Week 15 on the road against the Buffalo Bills. And again, they do not even have to win for that to happen. The craziest one, by the way, you can't even see on your screen. It's got like a billion different, qualifying factors. And the point is, the Cowboys are going to be a playoff team. The Cowboys are going to be in the playoffs when this is all said and done. And that is why when you see our rooting guide, which we'll have up later on our channel here this week and across all Blogging the Boys properties, we're going to run a little bit counter to some of these things. In fact, as we take a look at the scenarios one more time here, I don't think that we really want, to see the 49ers win, right? Like if you look at the second one here, we do not want to see the San Francisco 49ers win their game. We want to see the San Francisco 49ers lose so that the Cowboys can not only be in the playoffs, but potentially win the NFC East. I know the Niners don't have to do with that, but the Cowboys have to win the NFC East in order to be eligible to be the 1 seed, which the Niners are right now. Probably, going to hold on to it, but whatever. I mean, the point is we are going to root for some things this week that do not line up exactly with this kind of menu of wide-ranging items and where the Cowboys can clinch a playoff spot, because the Cowboys are a good enough team to where we know they're going to be in the playoffs. We trust that they're going to be in the playoffs. We're not holding out to all hope that they will just find a way to get in. The Cowboys are 10-3, and it is only December 13th. I mean, they were 10-3 on December 10th because, again, they embarrassed the Philadelphia Eagles, but you get my point. So we want to see the Cowboys get to the playoffs, obviously, and that hopefully will happen this week because that will hopefully mean the Cowboys won. Who cares about everything else? But more than anything, we want to see the path. We want to see the overall playoff picture work in favor of the Cowboys. And a lot of that obviously has to do with what happens to the Philadelphia Eagles, to the San Francisco 49ers. Somewhat involves the Detroit Lions. And yes, we do have to continue to keep an eye on the NFC South, because if the Cowboys do not win their division, they will in all likelihood visit the winner of that crummy division in the wild card round of the playoffs. So win and the Cowboys are in, tie and the Cowboys are in, a number of a million other things go right, the Cowboys are in. Ultimately, the Cowboys are going to be in, and when they are, the Cowboys will be a playoff team for the third year in a row for the first time since the mid-90s. Give this team, give this head coach, give the quarterback, give everybody involved some props, because they have absolutely earned them. So if you're curious what can happen in order for the Cowboys to have one of those coveted tickets, right now the San Francisco 49ers are the only team that has clinched a playoff berth. There are, again, 14 total different ways. And in fact, that's not even a proper representation of how many ways there are, because there's a number of, I don't even know how many permutations when you involve so many wins and so many ties, whatever. You get the point that there are a lot of ways in which the Cowboys can clinch a playoff spot this week. But again, if you want the most simplistic, the easiest path of least resistance for the Cowboys in order to reach the postseason as soon as possible, all they have to do is win. That's it. Win and you're in. How many times do you want that to be true in sports, right? And the Cowboys have that opportunity in front of them on the road Sunday afternoon against the Buffalo Bills. I mentioned our rooting guide video that'll be coming later on this week here on the Blog on the Boys YouTube channel. Make sure you do subscribe. On Thursday, we'll have an interview that I did with Jay Spence, my very good friend who covers the Buffalo Bills for Buffalo Rumblings, our SB Nation Buffalo Bills site, obviously. It's a great conversation where Jay Spence and I talked about the strengths and weaknesses associated with the Bills. Yeah, we got some good stuff coming up, and obviously we're getting ready for another game. So my name is RJ Ochoa. If you want to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, or Threads, you can do so at RJ Ochoa. On TikTok, rj.ochoa. If you want to send me an email, you can do so, rj.ochoa@sbnation.com. If you want to leave a comment down below, I'll do my best to answer those as well. And like I said, I will include the article that has all of the scenarios in which you can look at how the Cowboys can clinch a playoff berth down in the description. But in order to get to that description, you have to scroll down. And if you do, make sure you are subscribed right here to the Blog and the Boys YouTube channel. Thanks so much for hanging out, everybody. We'll see you next time.